Thank you so much for joining us for the Footprint Conversation. It's a pleasure to be back again. Today, I'll be hosting Dr. Linda Opanga, who is my guest for the studio, and I'll be glad to give her an opportunity to just introduce yourself. So, over to you, Linda.
Oh, thank you so much, David, for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Linda, trained pharmacist. I practice in the field of regulatory affairs. Other than that, I am a content creator, a YouTuber, and I just love creating content around health, pharmacy practice. So that's it about me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Linda. And it's great to know that actually you as a pharmacist, you're also in the content creation space. So my question would be, how did you find yourself being a content creator, and where did you start?
Okay, so my journey goes way back to 2019, and I know I've always wanted to create content. I've always loved taking videos. I've always loved taking photos. It goes all the way back. I remember when in uni, I used to go for photo shoots. I used to do videos for people. So it's just something that has always been in me. I've always loved creating content. So fast forward, after graduating in 2017, I did my internship through 2019, and then I did not have a job for like 7 months. So during the time that I did not have a job, I decided to first of all start selling vegetables. So I was once a mama mboga. So I was doing that, and then I decided, because I love like doing videos, I decided like, why not start creating content about health? And that is how I ended up in the health content creation space.
Fantastic, yes. Fantastic. How did the mama mboga business go?
Well, it went well actually. I got profits. It was so good, but then I got a job, then I stopped, but I regret stopping it. I wish I actually just continued doing it on the side, but it's really a profitable business.
Okay, yes. I hope this government takes you back to that journey, because I see the mama mboga business is there.
It's thriving.
It's thriving. But anyway, thank you so much for that. So in terms of the content that you create, what are the topics that you discuss in your sessions? Okay,
so my content is divided into two. So I do one, pharmacy practice, where I now just talk about like the whole area about pharmacy practice, community pharmacy practice, industry, careers in pharmacy, anything pharmacy related that someone would want to know. Like even the curriculum, I've even done like videos with students asking them like, why do they choose to practice pharmacy? So anything you want to know about pharmacy practice, I do that. Then my other segment is about health. So mostly the health stuff, I post it on my YouTube shorts. So the health, where I talk about any health topic, I talk about drugs, all this. So I do like my content into different sections. Yes.
So based on that profile, the pharmacy section is more for pharmacists, and the health section to the general public.
To the general public, yes.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for that. And then my next question would be linked to your content, which is around the pharmacy practice component. And you've talked about the pharmacy content being around pharmacy, the practice, people, how they found their journey into pharmacy. My question would be for you as Linda, as a pharmacist. How did you find yourself into pharmacy? How did you choose to pursue pharmacy?
Okay, well, it's a long story. So it goes all the way back from, you remember like high school? I knew I wanted to be in the medical field. So it was either being a doctor or a pharmacist. But then I did my KCSE, and then I got my results. Then I applied. My sister just told me, I have a sister who is a pharmacist. So I asked her like, between medicine and pharmacy, which is better? Because I had qualified for both. Then she told me, come to pharmacy. Then I was like, okay, pharmacy it is. I did not know what it is, but I just decided, you know what? Let me venture into this pharmacy practice and see what it's all about. That is actually how I found myself in pharmacy. So when I came to like the first year, everybody was telling me like, your sister is a pharmacist, why not move to medicine? Actually, I tried to do the interfaculty transfer, where you were transferring courses. So I actually qualified to go to medicine, but then I went, and then the anatomy and everything, literally like the dead bodies, literally it just scared me, and I decided, you know what, it's time to go back to pharmacy. So I went back to pharmacy. So like I was trying to, like first year I was a bit confused. I didn't know medicine, pharmacy, but then I decided to just stick to my gut and practice pharmacy, and just go to start like studying pharmacy.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And how have you found pharmacy so far, by the virtue that you made that decision? Love it.
Pharmacy is one career that is interesting. I can say it's interesting. Especially when we started studying. I didn't know that it would involve all this chemistry. And the way I did not like chemistry sometimes. So, yeah, though I passed, but it was not, I loved biology like really so much. So when it came to chemistry, I was like, oh my God, we're being taken back to high school. Like, yeah, I can remember this. So yeah, it was sort of interesting. And then I was asking myself, like, why am I doing chemistry? And then it reached a point we were doing like parts of a leaf, parts of a plant. Then I'm like, okay, is this really pharmacy? So yeah, but when I've come to practice now, I understand why we actually did what we had to do. So basically, it's good so far. I know it has its own challenges, the way like the courses, some of the courses were really tough. Yeah, like they were really tough. I know I have never had like to have a supplementary, never did that. But then I remember like in first year, the first cut for physiology. So in our uni, this is what used to happen. Like they used to categorize people who failed and people who passed. So the pass mark was 50%. So below 50%, they used to draw a red line. So the first ever cut for physiology, do you know who was just below that red line? It was me. And then
the line.
Below the red line, like the starting of the red line, the pass mark was 50, and then here I am with 48%. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? It was physiology. I did not like physiology at all when I was in first year. I do not know why. But yeah, that is how then I told myself, like, yeah, you know what, you have to get serious. Then my sister told me, we do not entertain such marks in pharmacy school. I have been told, like, you fail physiology, you are the first one below, you have to pull up your socks. So I was like, okay, I have to now start studying. So that is how I just, like, it was a wake-up call for me. Like, if you don't do this, you're going to get a supplementary, you're going to take a recheck, and I did not want that in my, like, trail. So that was a wake-up call for me, and that is the cut that I got the lowest mark in campus. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's amazing. And it's like you're enjoying your pharmacy journey. So my question to you would be, umerudisha mkono your sister for giving you a career?
Well. Hi Sylvia, nitarudisha mkono siku nyingine. But yes, there are ways in which we help each other out. So in other ways, I have returned the favor to you. But I know one day I'll be blessed so much and I'll return the favor back to you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. But I think it's a good journey.
Yeah.
And I've interacted with you in the pharmacy space, and I feel like pharmacy, it might have its challenges, but we're making the best of it, and that is a commendable move for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes a difference in the industry. So moving forward from there, then my quick question to you would be, in terms of practice beyond schooling and all that, you graduated, did your internship. How has the experience been? Which are the areas where you practice, and how has those experiences been for you?
Okay, fast forward internship. You know the way internship we do like community, industry, and hospital practice. So during our time, those were the 3 rotations. I understand now they've been added, I don't know, primary practice, healthcare, where they go to the primary facilities. But in our turn, that was it. So I started with community pharmacy practice. So I went to community pharmacy. Then I saw like, oh my God, you are not supposed to sit down. Like literally you're standing on your feet the whole day, like you're up on your feet. By the time I used to go home, my feet are swollen. Then I'm like, okay, is this really what I want to do? So once I finished my community, I said, community pharmacy practice, that is an X, I will never do it. Then fast forward, I went to industry. I really enjoyed my industry rotation, by the way. And the preceptor was so good. I learned a lot. In fact, at some point, he left for me like a whole batch to actually produce from the beginning to the end, like supervise and produce this batch. I was like, okay, this is very, very interesting. I had never seen that side of pharmacy. Yeah, so I really liked my industry rotation. I know most people never loved their rotations, but for me, industry was so good. Like, it really left a really good impact in me. Then I finished industry, now I went to hospital. Oh my God. So hospital, I think out of all those rotations, I did not like hospital pharmacy practice. Yet when I was leaving school, I actually knew that I'm going into hospital pharmacy practice. Like I wanted to really like to be a really good clinical pharmacist. But then I did my internship. Then it was all about like 1x1. Like I really did not have so much practice, and then sometimes you go to the wards, and then in these wards, like the registrars and the nurses are looking at you like, you're a pharmacist, what have you come to do to the ward? They're not willing to support you. And then sometimes we could want to go to the wards, but then there's no pharmacist to take us to the wards. So like most of them were either busy with their administrative work, so they were like really not involved so much. The only place I enjoyed actually in my hospital practice was oncology unit, because at least I had like hands-on skills. Like I did this adjusted doses for patients, like mixed their chemo, so it was hands-on and I really loved it. But the rest of the areas was like now community. I felt like I'm back to community pharmacy practice. So it's a prescription, go through the prescription, and then there are so many patients. So you're always shouting the name of the patient. They come 1 times 1, da 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 da, you're done. Because it's like you just want to clear the line. So I went and sat back and said like, you know what, I think this is not what I want for myself. And then I went back and said, okay, industry, it was good, I enjoyed. So maybe I could go to the industry side. And then I've always had this thing where I do not want to hide under the shadows of my sister. So like I'm trying to run away from that. You know, she's a clinical pharmacist, and myself, I said, I do not want to be called like, Sylvia Junior, because that's what always people say, like, oh, hi, Sylvia Junior. Then I'm like, no, my name is Linda. So I said, I'll make a brand for myself. Like I will go totally the opposite direction from hers. So by the fact that I enjoyed industry, then this was more interesting to me. So I said like, let me venture into industry. And fast forward, after staying 7 months at home without a job, there was just a job advertisement that was sent to the class group. It was regulatory affairs. And I was like, okay, what is this? I've never heard of it. Never had even someone who practices this. Then I decided, you know what, let me take a shot and apply. So I applied for the job, went for the interview, and then the lady was so kind. I was very honest. I told her, I do not know what this is all about. All of us were new. All of us in the interview, we had never known what regulatory affairs is. So she gave us an assignment. She told us, go read about it. I'll call you for phase 2 interview. So phase 2 interview, I went, and then because she told me to go read about it, Sylvia, hi, do you know anyone who's in regulatory affairs? Then she told me, I have a friend who works at Novo Nordisk. Go to him. He gave me the contact. So I called him. I told him like, I have an interview for regulatory affairs. I have no idea what this is all about. Could you please take me through that? So he just told me regulatory affairs is all about this, and this. And then he told me, when you ask questions like this in the interview, answer like this. Then he told me there's guidelines on the PPB website. So go through the guidelines. And that is exactly what I went to do. Then going to the interview, it's exactly what I told the lady, like, this is what is regulatory affairs. These are the questions. This is what. So she was like surprised. Like within 2 days, I had at least had an idea
of what it looks like.
Yes. So she just told me spot on, like, congratulations, you've got the job. I'm like, how? Yeah, because I was the last person to be interviewed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, you've already made up your decision, like just like that. She told me like, now you have to come sign the contract. Then I told her I was working, so I had to give like a notice to my Mama Boga business. So I had to clear up stock within the 2 weeks so that I now start officially. Because I told her, because honestly, you have to give a notice. You can't just start immediately. So I gave notice to my Mama Boga business, and then I decided like, let me go and start this regulatory affairs. And it was baptism by fire. Like, I know nothing. I know no one. I do not know even anybody in this space. All I know is the clinical pharmacist, because those are the people I was interacting with almost all the time. So I decided, you know what, let me go to PPB. It's Pharmacy and Poisons Board. So I went there, and then I decided, you know, the way I talk a lot. So I went and started just like talking to the people in the department. Luckily, people know me because of my sister. So I was like, yes, this is working for me. So I used that to my advantage. So using that to my advantage, I made a lot of like connections. And then I'd meet pharmacists. I asked them like, where do you work? I work here. It's my first time. I have no idea what's going on. So they used to give me their contacts, and then I would call them whenever I have an issue. They just told me, call me, I'll help you. And that is how I actually learned. I learned on the job. So that was my first job. Stayed there for 1 year, and then I just got so tired. Then someone told me, just a friend of mine called me, like, are you in need of a job? Then I'm like, yeah, I need a job. Then they told me, send me your CV. Then I sent the CV. Then I went for the interview, and this was so funny actually, because this guy who was supposed to interview me, I told him, I'm working, I don't have time to come for the interview. Like, seriously, I do not know. Then he told me, is there a place nearby I can come to you? Then I was like, yes, okay. Yes, so he told me, yeah, there's this place, it's called Java, it's at KMS Center. Then I told him, yeah, it's near where I work, because my office was in Upper Hill. So we went, had the interview. It was so weird because he just told me, like, tell me your experience. I told him my experience. And then after that, he told me, I'll call you. So the next time he calls me, he tells me, like, you have to have like an international interview with our team. So he told me to go to the office. So that time I had to take leave and go to the office for the interview. Then after that, he told me, you're hired. Just like that, I was hired. I transitioned to my second place. I worked there for 2 years. Then I got tired again. Okay, I don't know why I get tired so fast. So I got tired after 2 years. Then I said, you know what? I need to grow. So I just, manifestation works. So I wrote down what I want, the job that I want, how much money they should pay me. I just wrote. And then I continued praying. Then all of a sudden, one friend of mine again, one day called me, hello, do you need a job? Then I'm like, yeah, we have a vacancy here. Then I'm like, okay, send your CV. So I sent my CV. So the first we did like 2 takes for the interview. One, we were being interviewed by one organization, and then the other one was now the company where I was meeting now the pharmacists. So I passed the first one. Then they told me the second one is this day. So yeah, I actually like took leave from work that day and had the interview at home. So having the interview at home, we had a nanny, so she kept like passing behind. So I'm like, oh my God. Then the interviewer paused and told me, please tell the lady who's passing behind you to move because she's distracting us. So I told her, please move. I had to pause the video and tell her, please move. So she moved. So I was like, okay, because of that distraction, maybe I'm not going to get the job. Then few weeks later, like I think it was like 1 week later, I'm being called like, congratulations, you've got the job. And I'm like, okay, this is so nice. So I got the job fast forward. That's where I'm currently working now. This is my second year there. And my experience has been good because like I've got a lot of experience, like advancing from country to country. And it's just been fulfilling. Yeah, like my journey has been great. I do not know if it's luck or whatever it is, but that is how I've been landing jobs. And also like through networking with people. Yeah, like tell people your problems. If you're tired with it, just tell them like,